Alright everyone, having a little fun there with you. Welcome back to the channel. I am FiddlinJonny and this is my fiddle channel and magic product review. And today we're going to do Any Card by Richard Sanders. And I picked this song today because, well, it reminds me of sort of cartoonish, used in cartoons when someone's lurking around or sneaking up, that sort of thing. And I thought this might be one that's been lurking in the background for a while for you. You've been thinking about, and now it's lurking back in, and that's why I picked it. So hopefully that works for you. If not, let me leave a comment. What would be better song-wise for it? Anyway, it's Any Card. Is it really any card? Can you pick any card in this? Well, stick around and you'll find out. Hello everyone. Hey, I hope you are all doing really well. No matter where you're at in the world. It feels like we've been through kind of a rough year and a half, almost 2 years now. And anyway, besides the product review, I just hope you're all doing really, really well out there. That you're coping okay, that you're working on your magic and that sort of stuff. And that all is well in your neck of the woods. Anyway. Care about you guys, and I really am glad that you're here. Okay, so I'm going to do Any Card by Richard Sanders. And Richard Sanders released this back in, I think it was 2019, so 2, maybe 3 years ago now. And when I saw this product when it initially came out, I thought, oh damn, that looks awesome. Like, I want to get that. But I was busy buying other products and would see it every now and then and thought, I'm going to eventually pick that up. And then finally, I thought, I'm going to get this. I'm not buying it to do a review of it. I'm going to buy it because I'm just personally interested in it and think, oh, I'll go ahead and use it. So anyway, I purchased it very recently. In fact, it's been sitting around for a while. Finally got around to opening it up and playing around with it a little bit and decided, hey, I'll do a review of this. And I think just about every other reviewer has done a review on this. So I'm probably the last to the game on this one. But look, I'm just going to give you more detail, all right? AKA blather on and on. No, not really. I'm going to try not to do that. So what is Any Card? Any Card is essentially you're taking a packet of cards. You're going to hand them to your spectator. You're going to ask your spectator to think of any card that they want. And only to think it in their head. Once they've got the card in their head, you go, it's an ace, isn't it? You picked one of the aces. And of course, your spectator's going to go, no, I didn't pick an ace. So it's a little bit of like, uh-oh, magician in trouble. You then as the performer will go, oh man, most people would pick an ace, or I thought you had picked an ace, and you go, I felt so strongly about it that I took all the cards in here and only put the aces, and you'll only have the aces as the face-up card with all the other cards face down. And you say, what was your card? And whatever card they say, you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull out your aces, and then you can hand the aces to your spectator, and then you can have your spectator essentially turn the cards over, and it'll be revealed on the backs of those aces what their card is. These are my practice cards, so these make no sense to you. But if they picked the 7 of clubs, it will be written on the back of the cards, the 7 of clubs as their chosen card. So it's sort of like, aha, yay, you actually did predict them. It's the only red back cards out of a blue back deck written on the back of the aces. And they can pick any card, no force, works 100% of the time. That's what Any Card is. Which, when I say it, it's coming out of my mouth, I go, damn, that's a damn good trick. It is a damn good trick. So what are you going to get? It's all the usual stuff. You're going to get your streaming video. Your streaming video is done on Vimeo. It's not downloadable, just streaming video on the Vimeo platform. It's going to be broken up into 18 different mini videos, each sort of covering a different aspect of the tutorial. So whether it's the welcome, maybe it's the tutorial, maybe it's the history, it's the setup. You got 18 different ones in there. It also gives you a couple performances, and actually has a performance when Richard Sanders showed this at Magic Live, the convention. So to a relatively large group of people. So you're going to get all the stuff that you typically think of with a download. It comes to about, I think, an hour and a half or a little bit over an hour and a half of video time. I didn't count it exactly, but I know that it amounted to an hour and a half, maybe slightly more on there. And Richard Sanders has updated some of the videos on there, or added more videos, I should say, over time. So if you purchased this a while back, go back and watch the tutorial. There may be additional videos in there that were not originally there. So you got it. Oh, you're going to get your, what else are you going to get? You're going to get your cards, and your cards are gimmicked cards. All right, and they're going to be blue bicycle back cards. Let's talk about the instructions. I don't want to blather on and on like I normally do. They're great. They're not good. They're great. All of the camera shots are perfect. That might be overstating. They're great. They do the job. You have multiple camera angles, and the instruction itself is done in a way that's really understandable. At no point during the tutorial did I go, wait, I need to hit the rewind, or wait, I'm not sure, or I'm a little confused. What do you mean by that? Didn't happen once, because the instructions are really clear. And at points where he goes through it methodically, and I mean methodically in a good way, with the appropriate camera angle as well, which I thought most of those ones that were really important were shot from an overhead camera straight down onto his performance pad, was great. And his setup when you're doing your initial setup. So really, really solid. Can't knock anything there from the tutorial perspective. Really good. Covers everything you're going to want to have in a tutorial. So let's talk then about how is this gimmick. I'm going to start off with, let's cut to the chase. The gimmick's really good. And if you watch the trailer for this, you will go, oh, I think I know what the method is that's being employed there, or the principle. And I'm going to tell you you are correct. And that what that principle is, yes, that's exactly what's being employed here, with some things that are unique, all right? You're thinking, well, then you could just go ahead and make up one of these yourselves. Maybe. Would it be as good? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think so. For me, yeah, could I make this up? But I just think it's easier for me to purchase it, to be honest. So, and I think really, here's what I feel like I can tip, is that he's taken an invisible deck and a brainwave deck, and if you know what those are, and he's taken some of the essential principles in those to create this routine here. And, you know, he's got sort of, the way he's gaffed it, I think, is kind of unique compared to a lot of way that this is typically gaffed. The quality of these gaffs are really, really good. And in particular, like a lot of times, like people worrying about the cards when you need to split them, they split beautifully. And that they're really easy to split when you need them to split. But by the same token, they stay beautifully together as well. And I do not worry about them separating. I hope that makes sense for folks. But those are the things that I think you should care about if you're purchasing these products. Those are elements that you want to make sure are working and that they're good quality. And I have found zero problem with the quality of this deck. All right. He's also sort of created his own special sauce. That will probably make sense to folks. I wish I knew what the exact special sauce is, but it seems really good. All right. There is one thing that I will talk about, the gimmick here. When I purchased it, and originally it came, and it was in a blue back, I went, oh, dang it. I should have ordered the red back, because I only really work in red back cards for the most part. And there's no other option. It only comes in a blue back because the reveals are always going to be on a red back. And the reason that is, and I think this shows, Richard Sanders has been working this for the last 10 years and has been modifying it over the years till he has finally come up with this method and routine that works best for this. And part of the reason that the red back is chosen is because for the reveal is because if you're doing a reveal, red with the black marker on it shows much better and it's easier for your spectator to see, as opposed to doing your reveal and writing your reveal in black on a blue backed deck. So it just is easier for it to pop for the eye for you to see. And I actually think that was a good choice on that, and really demonstrates that he's tried multiple different backs and has found this one from road testing it to really be the one that works the best. All right. I'll also add, because this is the thing I would sort of think, like when you're initially setting this up, it takes a good solid 30 minutes to write on the backs of the cards the reveal, and you're going to have to write on the backs of all the cards all the potential 52 different cards in a deck. That's going to take time. You're going to watch the tutorial to make sure that you do it correctly. But some people will say, why didn't you just print them on the back so I don't have to do that work? And I think there's two reasons. One, if you want to sell it around the world and there's multiple languages, it's just cost prohibitive to do it in a bunch of different languages and hope that they sell in those languages. I would add that there's the subtlety of when it is done, a prediction, and it's written in your own handwriting. I think it's stronger than when it is pre-printed, because if it's pre-printed, to me it sort of subtly or screams, oh, this is a trick deck that you can purchase that comes with the reveals already on the back. So I actually like that you have to do the writing of it on the back yourself in your own handwriting. If you have terrible handwriting, get someone who can do good handwriting on the backs of your deck for you. All right. What's the skill level? This is beginner skill level. You can watch the tutorial, set up the deck, and you're ready to go, and you'll be able to perform it right away because it is self-working essentially. You have to know the mechanics of how it works, but if you can separate cards, you can do this, or if you can fan cards, you can do this. So there's no slights, anything of that nature. It really allows you to focus on your performance. So let's talk about the pros. And that's, performance is one of the pros here, is because it's self-working, you will be able to focus in on your performance. And with all that said, take time to practice, because the more you practice, get better pattern, the better it's going to be. So I'll add one other thing here that's nice about the pros is when you do the reveal in your spectator's hands, they are able to hold the cards. And the cards are not gaffed. They are 100% normal. They simply happen to have the written reveal on the backs of the card. I think that's really nice and adds just this other level to this that makes this a really good quality trick, and everything's been thought of. This resets in seconds, and you can reset in front of your spectators and they don't have any idea that you are resetting. The other thing that I would say is, and I mentioned this earlier, is that the ability to separate these cards is really easy to do. I love it. And there's some uniqueness that's taught about how to do that on the tutorial, which I think make it a solid one as well. All right. I'll add as another sort of pro, I like that it has the Magician in Trouble plot built into it. I think it adds for a slightly more rich presentation and makes the reveal that much more stronger, because your spectators are like relaxed, oh, they got it wrong, and then you shock them and hit them hard with, you actually didn't, the reveal is on the back of the cards. You can customize these cards to your preferred language. So again, one of the pros about writing on the backs, you can tailor it to your own language, and Richard will address on the tutorial the different options based upon different languages. So in some places maybe you'll only say 7 clubs rather than the 7 of the clubs, and he addresses how to do that in other languages. There's no heat on this deck either. The heat is on the cards that you put in their hands, because you freely spread these cards and show them as normal cards, which I think is just another subtlety which makes the trick pretty powerful. All right, let's talk about the cons. There are no real cons here. The only con, I think, is the question to ask yourself is, do you need one more thought of card reveal that's done using sort of this sort of special sauce, or this sort of type of deck, or a variation of the type of deck that you're thinking of? And I think that's really a personal question. For me, I ask myself, is one of these a better presentation than the other? And I think, no, not really. I think it's up to you as the performer in terms of what you bring to the performance and what works best for you. I use an invisible deck all the time. I don't use a brainwave deck. I have a brainwave deck. I never feel super at ease with the brainwave deck, so I love the invisible deck. And use the invisible deck all the time. So would I switch from my invisible deck to any card? Not all the time, but I think some of the time. I'm going to play around with any deck and see which one gets me a stronger reaction. I've been doing an invisible deck routine for a long time and really like sort of my scripting that I have for it, and feels like it gets strong reactions. But playing around with the any deck, I think it's just gives me another opportunity to do a revealed card, and so I'm going to give it a whirl. And in fact, Richard Sanders felt like there was a problem with the invisible deck, and which is one that I've experienced as well, is that when you do the thought of card reveal, people often say, oh, I saw you just flipped it over really quick, or you just turned it over. And they think you're so good at sleight of hand because they've been watching you do maybe card tricks, and think, you're just really good at card tricks, and you just turned that over real quick. I have that happen to me with a fair amount of frequency. And so he felt like as a solution to that, this is sort of part of his solution to it, in that you've got 4 cards that are in play. It's actually written on the backs of the cards from a different deck, which sort of takes that away. Like, oh, there's no sleight of hand involved here because it's freely chosen card and the reveal is written on the back of the cards. So I think it's a clever concept from Richard Sanders, and I don't know if it's a problem that needs to be solved, but I do think it's a nice structure using some of the same sort of, idea of doing thought of card reveals. All right. So I think a lot of it will come up to you in terms of what type of deck doing thought of card reveal works best for you. All right, and which one's going to be more powerful? Who's going to like this? Look, card magicians are going to love this. Mentalists are going to love this. Folks who are doing walk around, perfect for it because you can do a really quick reset on it and you're ready to go at your next table. I also think this is great from everyone from the hobbyist to your working professional. It runs the gamut because it's easy to do, but it's a solid piece of magic for the professional as well. What does it cost? It costs $39.95 in the United States. I think that's a reasonable cost for a gimmick deck of this quality. To be honest, a lot of people will say, well, I can get an invisible deck or a brainwave deck for $10 or $15 or $20, half the price in essence. And I would say that the quality of this deck is really, really good. I'm not going to make up my own. There's things that are kind of unique about this, or the work it would take for me to set up my own deck. So I'm just going to purchase this. You can get refills of the deck if it wears out over time. And like any cards, of course, they'll wear out over time. But Richard Sanders at richardsandersfx.com, I'll put a link down there or up here, you can go ahead and buy refills if you would like. So that's what the cost is, and something for you to consider is that of a solid value for you based upon where you are and what you do performance-wise. All right, I hope that's all really helpful for you. I think at the end of the day, when I do these reviews, I don't want to sound like I'm a pitch man for any of these products. I just want to give you what sort of like the detail that I think is going to be helpful. I'll add that this is one of those effects that comes out and I don't have any issues with. Tutorials are great. The product itself is great. It does exactly as advertised. And so if you're looking at all those elements, you know what you're purchasing if you get it. All right, hey, if you got it, leave a comment below and tell me what your thoughts are. Are your cards holding up over time? Are there things that I didn't mention that would be great for the community to know? Mention it down below. I'm going to leave the link to Craig Petty's performance. He put up a performance of this recently, so I'm going to leave a link for that as well. So you can actually go see it performed rather than just looking at the tutorial, see what it looks like in that type of a scenario. And it doesn't hurt to like. In fact, it helps if you like it. That really helps with the algorithm. So go ahead, all of you, every single one of you right now, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. What are you waiting for? Don't be the last on the block to subscribe to the FiddlinJonny Magic Review channel. All right, that's it for now. I'm FiddlinJonny. And remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.